war sailor ending explained. A third child has lately been born to working-class seaman Alfred Garns. He is employed on a merchant ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with his childhood friend Sigbjrn Wali when World War II breaks out. They are unarmed citizens fighting in a war they did not initiate. Nazi submarines could suddenly attack the two men's expensive vessels as they fight for their lives in a spiral of violence and death. The sole objective of the combat sailors is to live and get back home. While all is going on, Cecilia, Alfred's wife, suffers in Bergen alone, caring for their 3 children without knowing if she will ever see Alfred again. As British planes tried to bomb the German submarine bunker in Bergen, they instead attacked a primary school in Laxef and houses for civilians and instead, killing hundreds of people. As the news reaches Alfred and Wally in Canada, they are unsure of what they will find there when they return. Alfred and his friend Sigbjrn left for an 18-month assignment aboard a merchant ship bound for New York in the year 1939, despite their daughter's fervent pleas to stay. He befriends Hannah, Brathen, Monson, and Axel while on board, and they grow to resemble his family. However, as time goes on and more ships are bombed, they begin to lose crew members. Alfred and Sigbjrn brave the impending threat of the German Navy as their forced participation in the conflict stretches on as ships sink and allies perish. We see Alfred and Wally on a wooden raft with another man, but their ship Fok Angler sinks, and his crew members narrowly make it. Axel is being saved, but the blast amputated one of his legs. They find an ally ship that has enough morphine for Axel, but they are not allowed to board and must be left to fend for themselves in the open sea. One of the survivor crew members, terrified and traumatized by what happened, tries to assassinate Wally and accuses him of being responsible for everything, but Alfred ends up choking him to death in an effort to protect everyone. In addition, Axel drowns and passes away after sailing for days without any medical attention. The two friends struggle to survive as they float on the raft for days until they are rescued by a ship that takes them to Canada where they are given medical attention in a hospital. At the same time, Alfred's family were informed that the ship sank and that he and other passengers were assumed dead. While the bombing that unintentionally destroyed the school and residential neighborhood is taking place, Alfred learns that his family has perished. When Alfred learned that his family had passed away, the news broke him and caused him to go since he felt that his existence had no longer any meaning. When Wally is recovering and after being released, he searches for Alfred's family and, fortunately, discovers that they are all in good health. He demonstrates to them the letter that included the news of their passing and Alfred's note to Wally, in which he asked him not to look for him. No word on Alfred's location leads Wally to move in with Cecilia and the kids and take care of them as a friend would. They quickly grow closer as even Cecilia appears to develop feelings for him. But, Wally one day receives a letter containing Alfred's present residence's address. He initially questioned whether he even needed to inform anyone. He ultimately resolves to fulfill his pledge to bring Alfred back, and in the identical scene from the first episode, Wally discovers a disheveled Alfred in Singapore in 1948. Even if he brings him to his senses and returns him home, things aren't exactly like Freddie left them. His children are now adults, and his youngest son, who was just a toddler, is now unfamiliar with and even frightened of him. Alfred finds it extremely difficult to return to his prior life after all these years, and the fact that he can't even get a job because he ran away doesn't help his situation. Yet, he reaches a breaking point, and following a breakdown, we see him as an elderly man in the year 1972. He had just turned into a grandfather, and Maggie's son is presenting him with a present on his birthday. We learn that Alfred knows something that might have transpired between Wally and his wife, but chooses to keep it all to himself. Before Wally finally shows up on his birthday, we can feel the pain in the two friends' eyes as they long for each other's life. Olav is a student in Oslo, Maggie works as a teacher, and William is employed by the oil sector. Alfred's children are all doing well. The epilogue demonstrates how life carries on in spite of everything. I hope the video was entertaining. Flip the channel's bell icon to the subscribe position to see more of them. Leave a like as well to support the channel. Thank you for your consideration and time.